Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into the cesspool of international awkwardness that is Donald Trump's latest rant, this time aimed at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now you might be thinking, another Trump outburst, what else is new? And you wouldn't be wrong. But this one, my friends, is a masterclass in how to conduct diplomacy. We're talking a symphony of gaffes, a veritable buffet of faux pas, all wrapped up in a tidy little tweet. To help us unpack this diplomatic dumpster fire, we've enlisted the help of a body language expert who will guide us through 11 hidden signs that scream, "This man wouldn't know diplomacy if it hit him with a NATO treaty." Let's kick things off with Trump's generous use of catastrophic terms like worst. I mean, it's not exactly the most nuanced word choice, is it? It's like trying to de-escalate a hostage situation by yelling, "This is the worst possible outcome." Our body language expert points out that using such extreme language immediately shuts down any possibility of productive conversation. It's the verbal equivalent of slamming your fist on the table. It might feel good in the moment, but it's not exactly conducive to finding common ground. The exclamation point, that tiny little punctuation mark that can either convey excitement or passive-aggressive rage. In Trump's case, it's usually the latter, and boy oh boy does he love to use it. Our expert notes that the liberal sprinkling of exclamation points throughout his rant is a dead giveaway of his emotional state. It's like he's shouting at us through the screen, which, knowing him, he probably is. But here's the thing. Diplomacy requires a certain level of emotional detachment. It's about keeping a cool head, even when you'd rather launch into a Twitter tirade. Now let's talk about the overall tone of Trump's message, shall we? It reads like a verbatim transcription of him ranting to a room full of nodding bobbleheads. There's no attempt at crafting a coherent argument, no sense of structure or purpose. This, our body language expert explains, is a big no-no in the world of diplomacy. When you're representing an entire nation, your words carry weight. They need to be carefully considered, edited, and refined to convey your message clearly and effectively. Chapter 4. Where are the edits? And speaking of editing, did anyone even bother to proofread this thing? It's riddled with grammatical errors and inconsistencies which, let's be honest, is par for the course with Trump, but it speaks to a larger issue, the lack of care and attention given to his words. Our expert highlights that in diplomacy, even the smallest word choice can have significant consequences. A misplaced comma or an ambiguous phrase can lead to misunderstandings and escalate tensions. Chapter 5. Drama Queen. One of the most striking things about Trump's outburst is the sheer drama of it all. It's like he's auditioning for a reality TV show rather than engaging in international diplomacy. Our body language expert points out that this tendency towards heightened emotion is a hallmark of Trump's communication style. He thrives on conflict and chaos, and his language reflects that. But diplomacy is not about winning a shouting match, it's about finding common ground, even when it feels impossible. Chapter 6. Campaign Trail Casual. Remember when Trump promised to be so presidential that we'd all be bored? Yeah, well, this rant is the opposite of presidential. It's the verbal equivalent of showing up to a state dinner in a bathrobe and slippers. Our expert explains that the casual, almost flippant tone of Trump's message is entirely inappropriate for diplomatic communication. It undermines his credibility and makes it difficult for other world leaders to take him seriously. Chapter 7. Stream of Unconsciousness. Reading Trump's rant is like peering directly into the abyss of his stream of consciousness. Thoughts and accusations tumble out in a jumbled mess, devoid of any logical structure or coherence. Our body language expert points out that this lack of clarity is a recipe for disaster in diplomacy. When you're dealing with complex international issues, precision is paramount. One gets the distinct impression that Trump didn't spend a whole lot of time thinking through the potential consequences of his words. It's like he fired off that tweet in a fit of pique without considering the ramifications. Our expert emphasizes that diplomacy requires careful consideration and strategic thinking. It's about anticipating the other side's moves and planning your own accordingly. Yes, nothing says strong international relations like publicly questioning the thoughts and actions of your allies. That's exactly what Trump does in his rant, casting doubt on the motivations of European leaders. Our body language expert explains that this type of public shaming is incredibly damaging to diplomatic relations. And finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Trump's anger. It seeps through every word of his rant, poisoning any chance of a productive dialogue. Our body language expert notes that anger is a powerful emotion. and it's one that Trump wears on his sleeve, but diplomacy requires a cool head and a willingness to compromise. So there you have it, 11 hidden signs in Trump's outburst that show he's about as diplomatic as a bull in a china shop. From his catastrophic language to his emotional punctuation, his rant is a masterclass in how to conduct international relations. It's clear that for Trump, diplomacy is just another word for winning regardless of the cost. But in the world of international relations, there are no winners, only varying degrees of losing. And with his reckless rhetoric and impulsive actions, Trump is quickly ensuring that we all lose, and lose big. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos.